Let's begin with developments involving the U.S. military in the Middle East. According to U.S. officials, American forces have conducted targeted air operations in Syria aimed at disrupting militant groups linked to ISIS. The Pentagon stated that these actions are part of ongoing counterterrorism efforts designed to limit the group's ability to plan and carry out attacks. Specific locations and operational details were not fully disclosed, reflecting standard military practice. Officials emphasized that the strikes were limited in scope and carefully planned to reduce broader escalation. Analysts note that such actions are typically framed as part of a sustained security strategy rather than a single one-time response. This development underscores the continued U.S. focus on regional stability and counter-extremism, even as Washington balances military engagement with diplomatic priorities. Another closely watched issue in the United States involves recent court-ordered disclosures related to Jeffrey Epstein. The released materials consist primarily of legal documents that remain partially redacted, including references to testimony and previously sealed records. Authorities have clarified that these disclosures are part of judicial proceedings, not a comprehensive public release of all Epstein-related files. Importantly, officials have avoided confirming whether additional records will become public. Legal experts note that privacy, protections, and ongoing litigation continue to limit full transparency. The renewed attention has revived national debate around accountability, the legal process, and how high-profile cases are handled within the justice system. For now, the focus remains on careful legal review rather than speculative conclusions. On the public health front, U.S. agencies are monitoring seasonal respiratory illness patterns. As winter conditions set in, officials report that activity levels for flu, COVID-19, and RSV vary significantly by region, with some areas experiencing gradual increases from earlier baselines. Health experts emphasize that regional variation is expected and that short-term rises do not automatically signal widespread outbreaks. Hospitals and healthcare systems are using surveillance data to guide preparedness rather than react to emergencies. Authorities continue to recommend preventive measures, particularly for vulnerable populations. Overall, public health messaging remains focused on caution, readiness, and informed decision-making during the colder months. Finally, a look at online behavior in the United States. Analysis of 2025 search patterns shows that public interest was spread across a wide range of topics, including political events, court cases, international developments, and cultural moments. Rather than a single dominant theme, online attention shifted rapidly in response to major news cycles. Analysts explain that search trends reflect curiosity and engagement, not judgment or endorsement. These patterns offer insight into how Americans consume information in real time. As digital platforms continue to influence public awareness, search data provides a useful snapshot of what captured attention during key moments throughout the year. Turning to the U.S. economy, recent data provides a snapshot of conditions in the housing market. Existing home sales showed modest movement in November, reflecting cautious behavior from buyers and sellers alike. Analysts suggest that interest rate expectations, affordability concerns, and seasonal patterns are all influencing activity. While some local markets experience slight improvements, economists stress that conditions vary widely across regions. Overall, the data points to stabilization rather than clear growth. As 2025 approaches its final weeks, attention remains focused on monetary policy signals and inflation trends, both of which will shape housing demand. For many Americans, the housing market continues to reflect uncertainty rather than momentum. In Washington, political attention remains divided between domestic governance and foreign policy messaging. Several U.S. lawmakers, including senior senators, have recently commented on international issues such as leadership, disputes in parts of Latin America, and broader regional stability. While these statements do not represent executive action, they play a role in shaping political debate and public discourse. Separately, legal processes involving government transparency and document disclosures continue under court oversight. Analysts caution against conflating political commentary with official policy decisions. At this stage, no major executive announcements have followed. The situation highlights the distinct roles of lawmakers, courts, and the executive branch within the U.S. political system.